All right, yo, like, click, and subscribe, do all that. We got the Monday games. Atlanta Falcons taking on the Green Bay Packers. The Packers easily did away with the Falcons, 30-16. Let's check the stats. Aaron Rodgers, 27-33, 237 yards, 4 TDs. Aaron Jones, 71 yards. Robert Tonyan, who was the player of the game, 98 yards, 3 TDs. Matt Ryan, 28-39, 285 yards. Todd Gurley had about 57 yards and 2 TDs. This guy's name I cannot pronounce, Ole Zakuya, whatever. We just go call him OZ. He had about 86 yards. He's number 17 on the field for the Falcons. Matt Ryan got sacked about 4 times, 3 for 12 on third downs. You know that's not going to do it. Julio Jones was out. Calvin Ridley was playing with an injury and still had no catches. I don't know why Matt Ryan wasn't trying to throw to him. Maybe the secondaries and all that was giving them the business, and he just didn't even have any catches. He only got targeted into the fourth quarter when they almost threw a TD for him, but then that got stripped away. That didn't happen. And basically, Green Bay is still undefeated. Atlanta falls to 0-4. And that's pretty much what happened there. And the only big pass thrown to Calvin Ridley right here. It was a 16-30. Bam, stripped it out of him. I was like, oh, man. I was like, oh, that kid could have got me some credibility of fantasy points in my league, but that did not take place. And the final game was New England Patriots going against the Kansas City Chiefs. Cam Newton was out in this game. He contracted COVID, so basically they had to stick with Brian Hoyer and Jarrett Stidham. So obviously, the New England Patriots' offense was going to run very differently without Cam. So the Chiefs said, the heck with all that. We don't care. Bottom line is the Chiefs beat the Patriots 26-10. Patrick Mahomes, 19 of 29, 236 yards, 2 TDs. Clyde Edwards had about 64 yards. Tyreek Hill had 64 yards at a TD. Brian Hoyer, 15 of 24, 130 yards, 1 pick. Damian Harris, 100 yards. Damian Byrd, 80 yards. I mean, basically, as far as the Patriots go, their defense was cool, but there was a lot of miscues in the offense from New England. Obviously, like I said, without Cam Newton on the field. Hoyer before halftime, man, there's just bad miscues all the way around. Jarrett Stidham came in and threw a TD to Keneal Harris in the fourth quarter, but he also threw 2 picks. One was a pick 6, and Ryan Matthew had that one. And Kansas City basically stays undefeated, for real. Jarrett Stidham is not, Brian Hoyer is not aware of clock management. Look at this. And he's trying to call a timeout here, but this goofball didn't realize that they didn't have no timeouts left leading into the half. What the heck were you thinking? And you could have had something going down. You could have tied this game up at 6 apiece before halftime. But Brian Hoyer, being Brian Hoyer, hasn't been in the league for so long, and clearly he forgot the rules. Julius Edelman, the only guy that they rely on, and look at that, just flopped out of his hands. Like I said, Tyrann Mathieu came through with a pick. That's hilarious. Julius Edelman, what were you thinking? Clearly he misses Cam because it just had miscues one after another. And at that point it was 19-10. But as you can see, Ryan's hand, he hit the TD, stripped it out of his hand. He didn't even strip it out of his hands. It just flopped out of his hands. He's supposed to make that catch. But bottom line is he didn't.